Buddy, coming to you live from Redhook here at the Function House. I'm Mike Gentile, along here with Anthony Vitale. We got none other than the DJ Jesse Marco.
Thank you for having me.
Straight from Coachella, just landed.
Yeah, basically.
I showed up an hour late.
Held up the show. We got fans yelling and screaming. The phone lines were blowing up. That's all right.
Sorry about that.
We forgive you.
Happy to be here, though. Thank you.
So tell us a little about where you come from and how you got into this music industry.
All right. Well, basically, lifelong music fan. Grew up in a musical household. My mother used to just play, Aretha Franklin and, Sam Cooke and all different types of Motown and soul music. And, fast forward, I guess my best friend growing up had turntables, and he got them for Christmas, and then, I had to get them. And I was just hooked since then, and, slowly but surely got into the game, DJing, meeting other DJs, and, producing music, so on and so forth.
So what DJ was it that inspired you to start DJing? Was it your best friend who was DJing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he had the turntable. He had like the Gemini starter kit, right?
Sampler on the
I
side?
think everybody had the Gemini starter kit.
So it was when we were young. So I'm 28 now. So it was when I was probably 11 or something. So
you've been
that was early.
For a while now.
So he had the Gemini kit, and I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. The minute I saw him scratch to KRS-One, I was like, I got to learn how to do that. I got to figure that out. I got to do all that. So.
Does he still DJ, your friend? Or?
No. He passed the torch.
Okay.
So yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how it started out, just in terms of an interest or a hobby, and it was always just a hobby. I would go and buy records because it was just sort of the thing to do.
Yeah.
Where'd you used to go vinyl shopping?
I used to go to Fat Beats, as a young, preteen, and I used to definitely get laughed at by everybody because I was small. I was short. For even until I was 16, I was really small. So I would go up in Fat Beats with oversized North Face. Couldn't even see it was just all North Face and shoes.
So you were born and raised in Manhattan?
Yeah, born and raised in Manhattan. I grew up in Union Square, and my father lived uptown on 106th in Amsterdam, so I used to go back and forth. And yeah, I mean that's kind of whether it was DJing or graffiti or skateboarding or whatever, it was we were just all doing everything. Everyone was just doing everything.
What was your tag?
Smug.
Smug.
That was the worst. It was the worst. So that was the start, of everything, and I just gravitated towards the music stuff because I don't know, it was just rhythm. I used to want to drum, with anything. In my desk, my teacher used to be like, "Stop," because I used to want to drum on the desk all the time and stuff.
Do you play any instruments?
So I used to play guitar, and I used to do a little drumming and stuff. So, but, that kind of ended around, 15, 16, when I, really started to do a lot of scratch DJing and turntable stuff. So yeah.
So that's 15 is when you went to Scratch Academy? How old were you when you...
Well, basically, there was when I would turn 16 in my school, there was a summer program where you had to do an internship somewhere. So I applied to do an internship at Scratch because I heard that, I heard through the grapevine that Jam Master Jay had this school, and so I applied for an internship there, and that was sort of part of my summer when I was 16, and I learned a lot there, met a lot of DJs, and
so was it easy for you to get that internship there? Because I'm sure the Scratch Academy, I'm sure there was a ton
It
of
was
people.
really, honestly, it was kind of funny because at the time it was really only 2 years old, so not a lot of people knew about it, and I got it fairly easy because I guess they liked me, but I mean, not really too many people knew about it. It was a new business. They only had like one location. They didn't have it in, you know, Miami or LA yet or anything. And it was just this guy, Rob Principi. I don't want to mess up his name. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. But
Okay.
you know, they just sort of like helped me and, you know, gave me this little internship, and I met a ton of DJs from that, ton of guys from like the Executioners, and learned different scratching, and you know, it was a great experience. I mean, it was a while ago, and it's invaluable.
Do you still, because of your affiliation with the Scratch Academy, do you still go back there from time to time?
I kind of go back and hang out. I did like a little thing with them where like I did a little video, like interview and like sort of bio thing. So yeah, so I definitely mess with them. They're the best. Shout out to Scratch Academy. They're awesome.
Awesome. So talk to us about the trip that you just came back from, Coachella.
Okay.
How, you know, how was that trip? How was playing out there? Talk to us about the energy out there and what it was like.
It's dope. I mean, you know, Coachella is always super fun. Like, you know, I DJ'd this party called the Neon Carnival. It's like a big party in the desert on Saturday after the festival. And, you know, the energy is always electric, and, you know, everyone's doing everything. So it's a good barometer for just like culture and music and where everything is at, you know, every year. It's fun to go to, but also it's a little tiring, you know. It's
Do you
like
find
nonstop
that you
party.
could be more creative in your DJ sets when you're playing, say, Coachella, because of the massive amounts of people and the different types of people that are there?
Well,
and
yeah.
the music that's being played at Coachella, do you feel like you
Yeah.
can?
Well, like, yeah, definitely. But also, yeah. Just to be clear, I did a party that was outside of the festival.
Okay.
It was like an event that they throw that is its own sort of like festival stage. But yeah, I mean, 100%. I think the more people that are out there in the crowd, like at any sort of event, the more sort of broad you can go with stuff, just in general.
Yep.
You know, because there's just more people. So yeah, definitely. I like to, you know, experiment and stuff like that.
So production, you have an album coming out.
Right. So I have an album that's signed to Fool's Gold, and it's sort of like under wraps at the moment, but I can tell you that it's coming out, and it's gonna be great.
So you can't speak much about it.
I can't really talk that much about it, other than we got Ghostface on the album, Joel Santana's on the album, Eliza Doolittle's on the album, this great soul singer by the name of Irfan is on the album, and that's really all I can talk to you guys about it. Unfortunately, I would love to tell you everything, but I just can't at the moment.
You've been doing a lot of stuff with Fool's Gold.
Yeah. So I've been doing, you know, 8-Track tapped me to do their radio show. So every week, or now every other week, you can catch Fool's Gold Day Off Radio. It's on Beats One, and so I mix. You know, I put together that show and, you know, scratch and mix everything and whatnot.
So the singles that you have out now, are they also on Fool's Gold?
So yeah, so maybe a month or two ago, we just put out I put out like a dance single. It's called Bum Bum. That's on Fool's Gold Clubhouse. They're more like club oriented label, and so that's been out for like a couple months. And yeah, so I mean, Fool's Gold is just sort of the umbrella, I guess, you know, that is fostering all this stuff that I'm doing. So it's a big shout out to them. They're the best.
So where can we catch you tonight?
So tonight, so we just started a new party in the city in New York called Living Room Sessions, and you know, we had Just Blaze, we had the ASAP Mob perform, Ferg and Nas came through, and then we also had so tonight, I'm not even supposed to say who's coming because like undisclosed, but
So you have a special guest.
yeah, there's like a special guest every week. It's so it's like for the young kids. We got a lot of the young kids kind of like involved with it, and it's just sort of a place where it's a platform for like everyone who's doing some creative stuff, whether it's like they're rappers or DJs or like I just want everyone to kind of come through and play a set or rap or just like put their art up or whatever.
That's cool.
So.
Talk to me a little bit about your relationship with Mark Ronson. I know Mark had a lot to do with like your upcoming into the DJ world.
Yeah, well, basically, I used to intern for Mark, and when I got sort of like in tune with the scene, I really I looked up to him a lot. Like he was sort of a role model just in terms of my taste and what I really wanted to do and stuff like that. So. I used to intern for his label called Alito Records, and I used to be there, doing sort of getting coffee and organizing his records and stuff like that. But yeah, he's an amazing artist and producer, and I learned like a ton from him.
So that's how you met him, by doing the internship?
Yeah, so I basically I met we have a mutual friend in because I went to NYU for a year, and my friend Harley, who's now in A&R at Columbia, used to intern for him as well, so he kind of like was the plug, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
I guess.
So being around Mark I'm guessing that's how you met AM.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of was just, I think, through working at Alito, like meeting everyone in the scene, kind of, that was definitely the starting point, like to meeting all the club guys and stuff. And then I think with AM, it was sort of like, I was one of the DJs that would DJ in the city, kind of when he would come and play, And even like a little before I was really going and playing everywhere, like I already knew about him,
Yeah.
So, but he was just, and then we just had some mutual friends just sort of through all the people that I met through working at Alito and stuff. So, so we met that way, and we built from there and whatnot.
And then you were opening up like everywhere for him. And, I mean, at least in New York. Anytime
Yeah.
he would come here, you would be the opening DJ for him.
I think like, the first like 4 or 5 times, like during my era, I guess you could say, like he came to New York, I was usually opening for him. I think I opened for him once at like Stereo, and then like, so, from there kind of like whatever club was hot and he did, whether it was like Mansion or
Yeah.
I can't even remember all
So
the
how did
names.
you get like your first shot to like actually play in a club? Like who gave you the open?
Well, basically, it's kind of like a combination, I guess, because I met this dude. He's a really good dude, incredible DJ. Shout out to Jay Days. He really taught me like club etiquette and like how to organize your records and crates and all that. And I used to carry his crates and stuff. So I used to go with him to Vela back in the day, and like kind of just be the carrying crates and stuff. So he really like would let me DJ when he would go to the bathroom and stuff. And then eventually I did a set at Vela. But really like I kind of like started doing my own party. I think like in Lower East Side, I used to do this party at this place called Alphabet Lounge, and then kind of invited people that I met from working at the label. So that's
Very
sort of
smart.
yeah. I mean, I feel like any good advice for any up and coming DJ or artist is like you don't really need to get booked. Like you can make yourself hot by like coming up with a concept and showing that you have taste and doing your own thing. So I think doing your own party is like the best. That's why I'm starting another one.
Sure.
So
Because you could showcase yourself.
yeah, and I just also now I just want to give the same shot that was given to me to other people, like, and as time goes on, things, music changes and taste and DJing has changed even so much in like the last 5 years. So I like to always keep up with what's going on. I want to keep young people kind of like inspiring me and me inspiring them and just giving them the opportunity,
Yep.
How do you feel about the whole nightlife industry today, opposed to maybe, let's say, 6 years ago?
Right.
You gotta take a sip for that question.
It's just water.
Yeah. Drink more water. It's cool. I mean, I think the idea is that I think is coming back now is to do things yourself. And I think for a minute, like DJ culture got so hot that anybody that kind of accumulated any hotness, the clubs would just sort of throw money at them and insert them into like whatever atmosphere that, like they had a bunch of guys coming and buying tables, and that's how they make a lot of money, and they just get the hot guy and put him, right then and there, and so that's cool, and it's great for us because we get paid, right? But at the same time, the culture suffers a little bit because Becky, who's there sipping her drink, doesn't know what music is being played
Exactly.
or what DJ. She don't really even care. So that's why I think now it's more important to really just do stuff yourself, get your own party hot. You got like Yes Jules, and you got 40-ounce Van, and you got all these kind of cool parties that are like, young and have their own aesthetic, and they're traveling and they're doing their thing. And that attitude always came out of, I mean, if you even go back to like, Frankie Knuckles or Larry Levan, like they had their own night, and that's what made them hot.
Yeah, it's called the residency.
The residency.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
don't exist anymore.
Well,
Exactly.
the residencies are like once a month residencies
Right,
exist
and
these
It
days.
doesn't exist unless you start your own party.
Right.
So
Exactly.
like you
Exactly.
started your own party and now you have a Tuesday night residency.
Right, and it's just like, and that's when I'm here, and, I have residencies elsewhere as well, but I just mean just sort of for the culture in general, to speak to your point about, like, where nightlife is right now. And it's like, sometimes you go to a club, and you're just like, what's going on? Like, where's the vibe at,
Exactly.
Like, is it lit? Is it not lit? Like, where's the vibe at? And I feel like it's starting to come back now. We had a little period where, there were some questionable DJs. There were some, a lot of promoters, but it's starting to creep back now. It's starting to, I feel like, creep back. So the city, I think, is in a better place. And things are becoming, I always liked when, you go to a club and you can hear all different types of music. And it's starting to come back now. Whereas I think maybe 2 or 3 or 5 years ago, you go to a club and it was like just, one thing. You know what I mean?
So are there any DJs that you would go listen to, like on your night off?
DJ Vitale.
Besides that?
Sinatra, definitely. A-Track. DJ Five. Who else is that I really mess with? Four Color Zach is incredible. I don't want to leave anyone out. I mean, I mess with a lot of people, so I guess, right off the top, I think those. But all the way from the greats to like guys that I mess with. I like to go out and hear other DJ. Ruckus is like he's
dope.
He's stupid. Like watching him DJ, I gotta go practice. I'm like, Politic, all those guys. All the club guys,
What inspires your sets, your music selection, your edits that you put together, your production work? Like, how does that go about?
I think it's one of those things where it's like,
That's the Function House fly.
yeah,
He didn't pay the man.
yeah.
He came from Coachella, but yes, he brought him.
Straight off the plane. What inspires my sets? Kind of just like if I'm feeling, a performance I think I always just like, those moments. If something's, I mean, it's hard to say. Like, what inspires me about a piece of music? I mean, it just, it reminds me of something, like a memory or, I think most of the time, though, just in terms of putting together my sets and, like, what inspires me to practice, I just, mostly as seeing other DJs or hearing, new music, trying to incorporate new with old stuff. Obviously, like, as a, a turntable guy, like any sort of like routine kind of thing can kind of spark the creativity. I think those, whether it's like mixing something that sounds like something else together, like I might hear like the piano of one thing that sounds like another record, and I'd be like, okay, those two together.
Okay.
Or
wordplay.
or like exactly like some something. One song says a word or is called something, and another song like has that word in it, and you kind of mix the two together. And yeah, and like the edits thing too is also just to keep things fresh. Like you always want to just keep surprising people and having them on their toes.
And
so.
having your own flavor, your own mix.
Yeah, like play. 100%, because I think that's what gives it that element of you in it. It's not just the same thing over and over. It's tough though. It depends. Like in certain atmospheres, you might want to play it a little more safe. But I always just try to give people like a little bit of me. So definitely.
So talk to us about this machine that you're going to be using.
So I started using Machine kind of around the time I guess I got really inspired by Arab music, and also I got super inspired because just as a little preview, the album stuff that I've done is going to be a little bit of more of a hybrid kind of thing. So I've been, it's going to dip into sort of that live category when it's being performed. It's not just going to be DJ sets and stuff. So, so I got inspired by a lot of the MPC drum guys, and I'd always been sort of a drum machine person, and when I was producing, and it just came really quickly to me. Like I just started messing with it, and it was so fun. Like I was just like, I just want to do this all the time.
So then you just started taking it out on gigs with you?
Yeah. So I would just drum for like hours. I swear to God, I was like, even the other day when I got to Coachella, like I had like 2 hours before the party, and I just drum with my headphones on for 2 hours. Like, cause I was just like, I gotta just let loose. I gotta get loose.
Yeah.
And it's just so much fun.
So how much is that incorporated into your sets, like percentage-wise? How much?
I mean, it's not really that much, to be honest. It's sort of like I use the machine as a MIDI controller for Serato. So I mostly use it as a Serato controller. I don't really drum that much during the DJ set, kind of just like little fills and stuff. But I have kind of put together some routines that include it. Like I just did this Good Times routine. And so I'm doing more of that stuff. I have another one coming out soon as well. So I'm trying to incorporate it more and more and more and more, because I think the two together it's kind of just like a natural progression, just to bring something new to the table.
Awesome.
All right, so we're going to take a 2-minute break. We're going to get Jesse up on the turntables, and he's going to bang on the drums a little bit.
I'll bang on the drums.
We got DJ Jesse Marco live from Redhook here at the Function House. We'll see you in a bit.
Awesome.